Tony D and Little Joan with your Screenwriter's Rant on Franklin, starring Michael Douglas as Benjamin Franklin. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 13, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Well, he's the right age for it. Franklin was pretty much an old guy when he was doing this. Although I think Michael Douglas is a little older. And it looks fun. It looks fun. It's a limited series. It's when Franklin went to France to try to get support for the revolution against England. And there was a lot of intrigue going on in France. There's always a lot of intrigue going on in France, but at that time it was cuckoo bananas. So Franklin had to navigate that. So there's going to be a lot of intrigue, and I think this is his grandson. I don't remember his grandson being on the trip. I haven't read about Franklin's exploits in a while. But it's possible. It looks like a fun thing. You know, they got him founding father, liar, inventor, lover, you know, all that kind of stuff. So he was a cool dude. Crazy stuff was happening. And there was a lot on the line. You know, he had to secure money and arms for the revolution. So it's gonna have some skullduggery in the mix. It's gonna be great sets, great costumes, and a lot of people running around trying to grift off the revolution. So France was pretty crazy, revolutionary, patriot. So it looks fun. I was a big fan of the Paul Giamatti, John Adams miniseries. Now, look, Franklin or Michael Douglas just feels like he's playing Michael Douglas. I mean, like, he's kind of always Michael Douglas in everything he does. So, like, he's not even doing a voice. he just sounds like Michael Douglas in the Benjamin Franklin costume. But that being said, I kind of want to say it. This is from One Media. Not sure what it's on. Benjamin Franklin biopic series. Oh, it's on Apple TV. Sorry. I should have seen that with the Apple TV logo all over it. Yeah, so I would watch this. Will it be historically accurate? Well, kind of. I mean, a lot of this stuff, it's so well known, it's kind of hard to, do too much with it. And I'm not exactly sure what they would have to gain by altering it too much, If anything, it'll probably be more debauched than your normal Ben Franklin biopic. But, it's the kind of role for an actor like Michael Douglas. He can really, sink his teeth in, right? It's a limited series. He can, be this sort of huge figure in history, and at this important time, during these important events, and there's a lot of gravitas there in the role, and in Michael Douglas to a good extent. I don't know if it's a great role for him. I don't really see him as Franklin. I never really did. Even his hair doesn't quite look right for Franklin. He was more bald, I think, by that time. I see it as more of he had hair, but it was very wispy. He looks like, I'm Michael Douglas. I'm not going bald. I'm just going to comb my hair back and grow it out. But yeah, I think it could be fun. It's always fun to see stuff from the Revolutionary War times, at least for me, because I'm a big history buff. Will it be accurate? Maybe. Maybe it'll be accurate to some extent, but you might get a slightly different perspective. I mean, I like the intrigue in it, and I just like to see Ben Franklin running around winning, because he was that sort of dude. He just always sort of came out on top because he was just too smart. And there's some of that in there, right? Like his grandson's like, "What are you planning?" kind of thing. So I think it would be fun. Maybe I'll actually hook up my Apple TV to watch this thing. Anyhow, in terms of a plot, it's history. You're going to follow history. I think the crux of the plot will be him securing arms and money for the revolution. That's going to be key. And then he gets that, and the war's over, and then you get some sort of denouement where he goes back to America and, you know, helps build the nation, and the French send him on his way. Like, well, you certainly made an impression, Mr. Franklin. Or maybe they do. I think he goes back. I think he does go back after the revolution to France, if I'm not mistaken. It would also be interesting that, you know, to have this miniseries where Franklin, you know, spends his time working the frogs to get this money and arms, which they did give us, but then turn around later and, you know, the frogs are like, "Hey, you're going to help us in our war," and we're kind of like, no. No, we're not going to do that. We're trying to get out of this stuff. Trust us, it'll pay off later for you. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. If you can find a more base take, I say, take it. I will be in Waterford, New Jersey on Saturday, starting around 3, to do the St. Patty's Day Market. It's basically Waterford, Atco area. I'm doing something right before that, so I'll be like flying in. So look for me setting up my tent right at 3, scrambling to get caught up to everybody else. Hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.